hello. Today I simply want to have a chat or say hello from my study. So obviously that is my way of creating illusion for myself, that wall art with the beautiful picture of an island. I'll actually move aside so you can see what that looks like. And one of the reasons I've put up that wall is of better times, to remind me of islands and places I have traveled to. Really, I want to talk about the upside of lockdown. So the last time I was in a situation of isolation was to the extreme, I suppose, was when my daughter was very young. She was a toddler. And she got ill one time. She developed, we had gone out to a restaurant. All of us actually ended up being ill with salmonella. But I guess because she was so young, she got really ill. And so after a stint in hospital, I had to work from home. I was forced to work from home because I had to take care of my daughter. And it was challenging, first of all, because you're scared. There was fear. I was a single mom. I'm taking care of this child. But then the other thing is I still had a job to do. I managed to negotiate with my boss to be able to work from home because I needed to keep my daughter from daycare because she had salmonella and it could easily be passed on. And so even though she got out of hospital, I had to go for weekly tests with her back to the hospital so they could test when she was cleared. And it took about 4 to 5 weeks before she was totally cleared of salmonella. Every time they did the testing, the salmonella was still present in her body. So that forced me to work from home. And it was a very isolating time, a frustrating time, because I'm a single mother, I'm on my own, taking care of a toddler and trying to get through isolation. And I'm the kind of person that gets my energy from people, gets my energy from interacting with people. Really used to being on my projects with my team and, my colleagues and my bosses and our stakeholders. And so having to work from home in a time when we didn't have Zoom or Microsoft Teams and any of those things, it was a challenge. But there were some benefits. There are always pluses. There are always silver linings in the clouds, aren't there? And so one of the benefits of being in isolation. Also, there's less time wasted on commuting, less time wasted on. I found time to do other things. So for me, back in those days, I needed to do something to calm the anxiety, the worry over my daughter. And so I would rise early and I really got into meditation. And I'd been kind of dabbling with it for a while, but I did use that extra time, the time that I would normally have used to travel or to commute. I used that time to do meditation. So that was one benefit, was actually utilizing that time that I had regained to do something different, to do something to provide a space for myself, self-nurturing, self-care. I also took up yoga, and I can't consider myself a great yogi, but I've always practiced stretching, just starting the day with stretching and meditation. And I took up some journaling as well. I would journal a page, simply dump my thoughts, or start the day emptying my mind of whatever anxiety or worry I had carried over from the day before, or even from restless sleep. The other thing that I've discovered this time in lockdown, and also discovered it last time I was in that isolating experience, was us spending less money. Suddenly the bank accounts are looking healthier than they have in ages, because I'm not going out as much. I'm not out for coffees and lunches and, dinners and all of those things. So, the bank account is looking quite healthy. And that's something positive. I kind of like that idea, because for me, that means when isolation is over, when even though we're probably not going to be able to go internationally for a while, I'm certainly looking at exploring parts of Australia. When the borders open up to Victorians, I'm looking at exploring parts of Australia. Traveling around Australia in an RV has been on my bucket list, but I kind of had that planned for my 60s, or, my late 60s, my early 70s. And now I'm thinking, well, I might have to bring that bucket list item forward and start doing some travel around Australia as soon as we're able to get out of isolation and go exploring again. So certainly the fact that I've been able to save money means that, I'll be able to go on a trip again as soon as we're ready to, as soon as we get the green light, that we can start moving around a little bit more. I'll be able to explore my own country. And I like the idea of not spending so frivolously. So the other thing I've learned is that, and I think a lot of people have learned this, because I've spoken to quite a few friends and family members and clients, and everyone is learning about what they really need. We're kind of getting really present to our frivolous spending in the past, to, chasing the next shiny object, and sometimes simply spending for the sake of spending. And now we sit back and we kind of recognizing, hang on a minute, I don't need half of the things that I think I need. And so that then becomes an opportunity to reevaluate what we consider to be important. And so for me, really, aside from the food, the groceries that we need to pick up every month, and some pharmacy expenses that I have to do for my health, there hasn't been a lot of frivolous spending. I do spend money on books, but then recently discovered the joys of borrowing books online from the library. So I never would have gone down that road, because I was like, my God, my book expenses are starting to climb a bit because I'm getting stuff off Kindle all the time or whatever. And then explored the idea of getting online books from the library. Now, I'm sure it's been around. I'm sure that knowledge has been around for ages, but I didn't know that, and I didn't know how to do that. So the other benefit that I gained was just going to find ways to get free books online, and discovered I could get it from the library. And so I created my account and am now reading books on my phone or on my iPad, downloaded for free from the library. So, that's not something that I would have gone down to find the answers for. I would have continued to spend frivolously on books. Not that spending on books is frivolous, but, you can overdo it. And then the other great benefit is the time to really connect with family. All of us have been on the busy hamster wheel for a long time. I think that's just been the nature of the world we've lived in. We've had to prove ourselves at our jobs. We felt like we had to prove ourselves at our jobs. Some of us have been trying to negotiate flexibility and work a little bit from home and work a little bit in the offices. But obviously, in some cases, our bosses have not been open to that. Now, of course, everyone's been forced to work from home, and so many people can see the benefit of that. Some of the benefits of working from home is obviously the time with the family, the time to have those dinners where we're present and we sit, the time to play board games, to simply be present to one another. There's so many advantages to that time. And then, of course, for our animals, aren't they loving us? I know our dog, our little puppy Nala, is absolutely loving having all of us to take her for walks, frolic around with her. She thinks we are at her beck and call. And quite frankly, right now we are, because we're home. And so those have been some of the benefits, some of the upside of lockdown that I've discovered. And I'm sure many people have realized that the simple things matter more, that we have simply been on the busy hamster wheel and not always had time to be present to the simple things, and that we don't actually need that much in life to be happy, to have presence with our family, to have community with our family, to have time and love and caring with our family and also with ourselves. Self-care is very important during this time, and we actually do have the time right now to indulge in a bit of self-care. So I'm interested in knowing what what the upside of lockdown has been for you. If you feel open and willing to share, please comment below and share some of the findings or the learnings that you've had from lockdown, some of the upside that you've experienced during lockdown. And yes, there's been frustration for sure, but sometimes it's nice to let go of the frustration for a moment and to focus on, those silver linings. There are always silver linings in clouds. Sometimes we don't see it, but they're always there. And when we look for them, we find them and we enjoy them. So yeah, in summary, for me, it's really been about using the time I would have used for commuting to do other things. It's been about spending less money and getting present to what I really need, and having time to have community and presence and caring and great moments with my family. So I hope you all have a wonderful day and that you find your upside in this current lockdown, and that you enjoy this happy spring day. And when we come out, we continue to appreciate the simple things and enjoy each other's company and enjoy simply being able to move around, get around, and have happy times, good happy times with each other. Have an awesome day. Bye for now.